Yo, Yamama Wakwaba Strong so eba POG Media so yes safi no aba obe subscribe na wa like age media no edi amayo betimi so ahye media no na foforo enso ensa akabian please click on the notification bell so send ebe the news bi ato platform no so a onso wo no de eko ene de eba ye koyensem na ye de nsem dodo na no aide abrowa ye bo edi ewura eye okujato eye ablakwa eye nakache na ye de nsem abremu na we na ode nsem bi ababa to just hwe Ghana ye eniamo ho nsem bi sebesebi atre eye Bulgarian eye government ene eye Nigeria fo ache se ya hwe ye na se ya mpe eho akiri ansem anya de anka ede eye entokwachinchinchi anase ede war ebetimi aba eye Ghana mantemu ha ene Bulgaria anase Nigeria fo entemu ache se ni nyina no chiremu a eye emrentem kakra na eye Ghana fo kobubu eye Bulgaria for eye omo embassy eno no evaluate eye the embassy and I say the international relationship what law no eye the evaluating to no Ghana ya tumra ama osehwe eye Bulgaria eye ambassador eba nchen ebe kache and say they are losing their patience into Ghana for into their compensation enya the emmo mo nya sa die ebeto eye Ghana no chese enye beta chese ensem no odedodo na ede etudwa yenko ne konkoti.
Embassies were not spared, and Chebia Namuti said, I revealed that Bulgarian another appointee of President Akuffo, Bulgarian embassy, I mean, no, say last week in Kwana, ambassador no, Obehume as ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee said, or trying a compensation. Now they are Ghana, they are losing their patience. Ambassador, wow. This can even lead to war because it's a violation of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. Who attack an embassy because embassy no, sure. It is for that country. Yeah. You are just host, but it is for that country under international law. It is an attack. It can lead to war. Nigerian High Commission, so Enchebia, and we almost went to war with Nigeria. As I said, President Akuffo had to call his counterparts. And what's going on? Parks and Gardens to call Accra. What? The latest, I made it 2 judges last week. Who said W.E.B. Du Bois Center, Omudiama private people for 50 years. 50 good years. Meanwhile, W.E.B. Du Bois Center, Ushe Yabakosem, Obia Oye, the first black graduate from Harvard University, or denouncing the U.S. citizenship, or a leader of the civil rights movement, actually the founder of NAACP, iconic civil liberties fighter. Or Jani mine ba Ghana say obeboa Nkrumah inspires him into obeboa ama ya defeated the colonialists to reconstruct an independent Ghana. Or take Ghana citizenship. This is an icon. Scholars from all over the world come to celebrate him. We are losing control over that for 50 years. Meanwhile, Oshe documents are intercepted. This is Chief Director of the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, writing to this private developer said, under the agreement, Sikana is also Omudibano, Omufambaye. Nanso President Akuffo Addo Krata signed by his secretary said, or Mukoye handing over on the 27th of August. Letter Nini signed by Nana Bedriu to Asante. Said 27th August Aebano, or Muko handing over W.E.B. Du Bois Center to this, to this SPV. Meanwhile, Chief Director no say, quote, request for proof of funds. It will be appreciated if you could address the evidence of adequate funds to pay the salaries of the staff of MFGH for the construction period, as well as to undertake the refurbishment of the new entity as per the agreement. See clauses 417 and 7213. You are therefore kindly requested to show availability of funds in an account open in Ghana with an amount of $30 million as provided by the agreement. You are also expected to submit to the ministry a performance bond issued by an internationally recognized bank in the amount of 15% of the total project cost, without which we are unable to hand over the site to you. Signed, John Yao Agbeko. chief director for the minister. Enti ministry no confirm say mo fasika bi ambaye. Enti yen to me hand over the site to you. Now, so President Akroma say, and it's the same modus operandi David Ajayi Ekaho, same David Ajayi, National Cathedral, Bank of Ghana headquarters, Marine Drive project, Trade Fair project, same modus operandi. David Ajayi is part of it, architect, and then now Omwafa, assassino, and they do whatever they want with it. Into state assets, omutono, recklessly no. It is a major issue. Indiana may sponsor a private members bill. And I've put together a team of lawyers led by Professor Kweku Azar. Okay, and NCBI will publish we are just putting final touches to the draft. Politicians, we NDC politician or MPP politician, we want a clear law. This law no ebe bane wo want me enter state asset. Eye car o, eye asase o, eye bungalow, eye hotel o. Who need to me obeto. And I believe say once we pass that law and keep the politicians out, ube say answer na obeti say ye ton bibi no. It's maybe about 40 years and 50 years because clearly, it's the politicians who are buying it and are getting people to fund for them. Yeah, council say politically exposed persons, Ebia Woyere, Woba, Wadamfu. Yes. And there will be until we are looking at
limiting to politicians.
Exactly. Until all politically exposed persons. Now, if we are buying Musua, 5 years you are banned. To mean to any state asset. After 5 years and son, you can be considered. Then we are also saying, say, your state assets ni nyina work on my way no. Yen create database.
5 years in
we were
for 5 account.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. You bear stakeholder consultation. Bisa Ghana for what
after 10 years now our capacity now.
Good. It's not a bad idea. A big crowd suggests even for forever. I don't mind. And that law no. You better create database. When him say, "Oh, my way, your woman say, who beside your minister say Ghana bungalows do send a your to me
because you need data."
You should that say data no data, but on person they find the data. When they are ready to sell, bungalows near all over the place. They know where they are. They can identify them when it's time to sell them. And we are going to demand, sir. As I said, Ghana, your war state assets database. Assassin in no. Where are they? Until who are Bumpugu yo, who are Veime, who are Mefeo, who are Japan, who are Kumasi, you know the state assets, then Yenina Yabohumbai. And then what that will help to achieve, all of these secret sales are also. You don't even know say state asset. Why as you just hear say Obiato or say or your private developer. Nidia.
Private developer.
Yeah. Now we'll see. I mean apartments. It has to stop until we have that database. When him say Yebisa Lance Minister. It's been more than 2 years. Say yepe omunyina omwato abanya sase yepe less no. When him say up to now. The last time you reminded you say, oh, you're careful on the political class will come under attack. And we said, and so what?
Does it mean someone mattering like politicians?
Good question. Look, public office, no. Uba, all the assets that have been put under your watch. Yes, say, sure, so my Ghana for. Ankase betoma we rather want to hear say, oh, Yamao 6 hotels. Time ubedi MD, CEO, minister. Also, would the ABA menu account? We see that's the discussion which we have. And yes, oh, mismanage. Just automame. ansana matumi I mean ansana made to me asheso.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of logic is that? And the other questions they say yebisa ye hu say this current generation of politicians no adentina ye de ye enjoy dache ye enjoy ye nanamo
Nkola
omoba o share Kwame Nkrumah breso oye bibia ye friend no land banks into auto asase the to ho when him say Ghana population be increasing into OC ministries no auto asase close to the ministries.
Sure.
You did see bungalows or see bungalows maybe, but or create rooms for more expansion. Yeah, dear. When was the last time what is a current generation of politicians? Yeah, to assassin they are to for the next generation. Yeah, dear, you better you know. Yeah, to ninja they are I mean, what kind of leaders are this? We are disappointing the country. We are destroying the future. Yankola and the say in Kola we be na as I saw more expanding Kolebu, expanding rich, expanding ministry, assassin home. Eti omuko medical school ombe doctors omo hospital ewo ABR rich nanso omo baby omote no ABR kaswa omo bungalow no ABR wa masama ana ewo ABR gomwa enti emergency na patient newu because afina obe free gomwaba. I mean, what is going on? Into this whole state capture, you can no. A major issue. Into they say Ghana phone na sorry. I can say look, enough is enough. Into Yamba snakes.
Where you free ho.
Okay.
Near Wabo boss state capture and Sassili bungalows ya and also letters are airbay. Who are doing this all mobilizing to come together and fight the same cause. You're fighting towards Senate now. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. This is a very important question because, as I say, yes, sorry, just the Boy Center no call. Into the Boy Center say, Anka 27th August, they now President Akuffo do person call your hand over. Yajina call. Yes, sorry, I say you call your demonstration. Omun to me your hand over. Now you protect his assassin. Ghana OC filling station wa wano. Omo mutie in the Upper West region. Omo sorry, your Parks and Gardens land. Motie minister no Parliament in response to my question. Or say, Omo ton assassin. A lands commission for and omoye omo kanana enti mon sorry and protect it wasase enti as I say aviation lands na airco all of these prisons land airport lands airco we all have to rise up and the original land owners no so as I say sorry because under the constitution under article 25 of the constitution a very clear say abain woto asase for a public purpose. Now say you no longer have use for that land, no. It reverts to the original owners. That is what the Constitution says. The Constitution is very clear. Any property compulsorily taken possession of or acquired in the public interest or for a public purpose shall be used only in the public interest or for the public purpose for which it was acquired. 6, where the property is not used in the public interest or for the purpose for which it was acquired, the owner of the property immediately before the compulsory acquisition shall be given the first option of acquiring the property and shall on such reacquisition refund the whole or part of the compensation paid to him as provided for by law or such other amount as is commensurate with the value of the property at the time of the reacquisition. Into there's a constitution. Into the also yaji asase every gadang before her say the year parks and gardens. Not private developer ba say I mean Nidia. It should have reverted to the owners, to the Gadangbe people.
Some more be on person.
The constitution is being violated with impunity. It is a saying, sorry. Now you respected the constitution. Now you protected the Aka because the Aka no airtime. Look, say no, they made this cover no. I cannot even vouch for what really is in the name of Ghana. When him say Teshi shooting range, and also Teshi Eko. Shooting range. Eko. Latest information, Amanya. Police. Prison barracks. And also called Omusi PPP arrangement. Private developer befa half. I really don't know. Ebia apart from Jubilee House, I no crime in your show. Yeah, that's what is happening. Into state capture. You can't house and no. And you grow. Bibia ko. Ubekaya enche biana obi will. Then you who say, hey,
Asmata forever.
That's what is happening. You just say you na dia. Now so akwa share Akuffo wheels mo.
So what impression are we creating? It's like say you're buying dear unless we give it to individuals. I mean, I don't get it. Anyway, let's go into it. Yeah, sure. Genesis of this whole Senate hotels and
me intercepted documents from Senate. Say, or more selected a preferred buyer. Say your hotels no, or more ton 4 of the hotels. Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm Royal, Ridge Royal, and Elmina Beach. Omoton Ama, the Honorable Minister for Food and Agriculture, Brian Achampo. And I'm because I didn't know. Hotels are a year in a year. I didn't know yet Tom Nipa Bako, the company Rock City, and Usher incorporation documents are secure no. On one or the beneficial owner or your director. There were 2 directors, or you're one of the directors, or one or your beneficial owner, or one or you're the sole shareholder. Into this attempt by some people to say, oh, a hotel, but maybe I only interest be a woman, Debbie. On relinquishing the interest. On one media into Rock City, or Munya Sika, or Munya Profiter, a Cobra jump on the account. Indiana, so far this transaction, what is it? Ubia Akasa on behalf of Rock City. On one or Kasama Rock City. On one. That should tell you. Say a media. That is the first point. Now, me who sa letter no, and immediately me can say, nipa we were buying mo or your minister. Na transaction no air cost or more finalize it. They are just about to sign. Under the constitution, if you have suspicion of conflict of interest,
sure.
The forum, baby, as I said, we call a shraj. Shraj na constitution no ama omutumi. In Temara, 17th May.
Yeah.
Enna may file a petition to Shraj, a conflict of interest petition, grounded on Article 284. Okay, Article 284 of the Constitution of Ghana, Yachrowo say, a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interests conflict or is likely to conflict with the performance of the functions of his office. Do we a public officer and say we engage in conduct? Now, we share Shraj rulings. Me was Shraj rulings no. Okay. Our more ruling. Shraj for a very classic case on conflict of interest. The Anane case. And me was that decision September 15, 2006. Miss Anna Bosman at the time, the acting commissioner, chairperson. Now, the way I define conflict of interest in that ruling by Shraj, Omuka said, page 21, Omuka said, the commission has held that a public official breaches this provision not only where there is actual conflict of interest, but also where there is a likelihood of conflict of interest.
Okay.
Where there is already in existence a personal relation between a public officer and another person, or between their respective institutions or companies, there is an onerous responsibility on the public officer to ensure that all future transactions between the two persons or institutions are conducted with utmost transparency and in such manner as to avoid suspicion of any improper motive or conduct. That is the Shraj ruling. Into conflict of interest, no, it's not only actual.
Yeah.
A perceived, apparent. Yeah. Say even the likelihood.
Yeah.
The suspicion, because we are minister. Or more taking decision, or more tone hotels way.
Yeah.
Can they really look at a minister, cabinet minister, and say yen Tom, yen favor? into the likelihood. And in addition to this constitutional provision, Article 284, no, Uber Article 78 and Article 98, there were other conflict of interest guidelines. Article 78, I say, ministers of state shall be appointed. Article 78. 78.3. I say, a minister of state shall not hold any other office of profit or emolument, whether private or public, and whether directly or indirectly, unless otherwise permitted by the speaker, acting on the recommendation of a committee of parliament, on the ground that A, that holding that office will not prejudice the work of the minister, and B, that no conflict of interest arises or will arise as a result of the minister holding that office. Article 98, it applies to members of parliament. And so we are minister, we are MP. Would to me hold the office of profit. Just you meet the committee of holding office of profit. No, my investigation say transaction we know there's no conflict of interest. Now speaker, I'm our certificate. And sana
process na nyaketwa.
Anyaketwa. We nyina ona obra champion wanye. My checking records no me were all the 47 ministers and MPs are omo certificate from the speaker ni din enka ho. Inti we breach Article 70, we breach Article 98. Snid for omo ye omo ejuma anka say so omo hu say this person has not met the requirements, only certificate. Inti say so omo entertainment or cry. Into all of these matters are a wash shraj. Now, me call shraj, no? And me intercepting more documents. Document bakwa me intercepting Snid for ankasa omu memo, internal memo.
Yeah.
On the valuation of these hotels. Sena Rock City bid, no? Offer now omu no? Was far below into a value for money. Anka yenyina ansori anko and tear this transaction anka is a giveaway. Memo no say and snake for anka some memo.
Okay.
4 hotels no total valuation $121 million. Now so Rock City omo offer just $61 million.
Out of the 121.
Out of the $121 million.
Hey.
Yes. Labadi Beach Hotel. Snake for Ankasa valuation almost say Monton Hotel no 60% shares no. Monton no for $45.1 million. Rock City offer 29.4 million. Yeah. Just half. La Palm Royal, Rock City for Ankasa omo valuation. Independent valuers omo year valuation almost say Monton no $47.1 million. Snake for say Rock City offer no or more general or more entertaining $21 million, not 47, half, less than half. Ridge Royal $15.3 million. Rock City say or more $8.4 million, not 15.
Hey.
Yeah. That's what we are talking about.
That's a bid in no ocean amounts now is less than half
of the actual valuation.
Actual value.
Yeah. Less than half of the value.
Okay.
Elmina Beach. You see, Montono 60% shares,
okay.
$13.7 million. Rock City, see, the Ombema $2.4 million. Can you believe that? Not 13.7. Into Osha Rock City bid now, there's no value for money. No value for money. Into say kase adie we a conflict of interest ye kanana more from a colleague in government and you are creating a special dispensation for him. This is the evidence. Meanwhile no asem we buy me call Shraj a publisher you know snitch for eba bontin because Rock City bid was the highest.
The highest.
We will get good money. Omu strategic investor now say Rock City edisika ba and they made the highest bid. And Chebiana Freddie Blay Okoye interview when he was attacking me. And what they told you say Neba every day for $150 to $200 million. Into Ebanisena Snake Fortune and Troca say Bra Champon bid no the highest. 61 million. Can he compare to $150 to $200 million? And
now say
clearly no.
Freddie Blair ne bano ne bid no crowd was how did that man raise that kind of money?
Good question. That is another major question for your 33 years. And there are a lot of wonders.
What's this? This can you say?
$150 to $200 million.
$200 million.
Yes. Ne papa ne beka. Ne papa.
Ugusu a wohwe eye dwumadie no na utie eye dwumadie no edema unsubscribe ya subscribe dwumadie no share na ma afoforo enso ensa enkabi and please click on the notification bell no so send be ya the any news be able to platform no so a wonso wohunu de aircall ene de eba ensam no ye toaso na ye de nsam dodo na no so aye de abrewo no so okujato e de toaso ewo eye Ghana ye state air capture no eno ahonsam ena obobobo na obiebie eye ensam so e de kire eye Ghana netememfo nyina na enen so osa reveal a shocking information on sa state capturing ya cause you sa e nsam dodo na no de etuja efa sansemu ho ayenko ni konkoti.
And no crese obede the company is Spartan Ives or more for beachfront no. Now, after me intercepted document we know me sign so intercepted the transaction advisors report. Many about and no crade is the most explosive. Hey, me what transaction advisor we know. A seeker taxpayers' money. And you're engaging. You're $491,000. That is about 7.1 million Ghana cedis.
For what?
Sir, Ombe advice Senate for on this transaction. And the answer na you better hotels no crown. You're 7.1 million. You're the same capital echo. $491,000.
Now that's Ghana to me a busu. Hotel no crowd.
Yeah, Mose Munisika mu ye desperate. Now so no problem. Sika kese we are more spending to engage a transaction advisor. Transaction advisor I issue report 24th May 2024. Tumofo. Say Rock City deal no more ignore transaction advisor no.
And then they come buy and for also.
Good. Financial loss. Munim say transaction advisor no mun tie ne advice. Ebane signer mu engage no. At least save us the money.
What Mama Shadi?
This is a transaction advisor addressed to the board.
The board of trustees.
Of trustees.
From the transaction advisor.
Yeah, same capital.
24th May 2024.
Yeah. And Mamin Kain, a summary of the findings on the Rock City Bay. Page 2. And this is signed by some capital for CEO, Dr. Sam Mensah, the signature.
Well, they are authentic.
Dr. Sam Mensah. Yeah.
Authentic.
You ignore what I said. Transaction advisor, over 7 million. Say, Ombe advises net.
Advice 7 million.
Hey, your doctor. Your doctor. Advice. Okay. Number 1. Or say, the Rock City proposal is a cash payment of $30.8 million. And then the rest is spread over a 24-month tenure. It's on installment basis. There is no interest rate. Interest rate, none, 0. Yeah. Enti adea mwankasa musi obi a obebede no as I say mu wasika no boom one yes because musi mo here adena mo spread the mo installment. Enti transaction advisor na say the proposal offers an installment plan with no confirmation of availability of funds. Payment is based on the cash flows of Rock City Hotel with no credit enhancement from any bank. There is no indication of ability to pay.
Okay.
The arrangements for the transfer of the shares do not satisfy the Senate's objectives. The transfer of the management and ownership will take 2 years. The 2-year installment plan was not made available to all bidders. Until you can say insider dealing,
Wow.
All the other bidders, no companies, you know, bid. Young country or say, move to me at Tiano on installment basis over 2 years. Yakase munyina mu kope musika. Cash. Na mumbe bidi. Ebani saying that Brad Champon Kwandie. No installment plan. No 2 years. That is not all. Transaction advisor no say the latest proposal does not meet the objectives of SNIT, which were clearly stated in the terms of reference for the transaction. Or say the proposal does not indicate the source of funding for the balance of the acquisition price. Other investors who submitted bids did not have an option of spreading the payment of shares over a 2-year period. Rock City Hotel's latest proposal does not include a bank guarantee. Damning. Min kind report be a damning say. Or say the current proposal does not reflect a bank guarantee and a firm indication of the ability of Rock City Hotel to settle the transaction in full. Below is an analysis of the semi-annual payment that will be required of Rock City at different rates of interest. Now, analysis. And they continue. Assuming that SNIT accepts a 2-year plan with semi-annual payments and an interest rate of 2.5%, the periodic payment that will be required of Rock City Hotel will be $7.8 million. That's $109.7 million. Rock City Hotel's financials cannot support the transaction. The table below shows that Rock City Hotel's total projected annual revenue of 2024 cannot meet the half-year installment payment of 109.7 million Ghana cedis. In addition, the company does not have cash reserves to support the installment payments. In short, the current proposal does not meet the requirement to demonstrate the financial capacity to close the transaction. Same capital. Can you believe that?
So that's a document on your screen. Mo share on TV no beti.
Inti transaction advisor ya tiano sika kesie over 7 million. Akroma. And this is 24th May. More than a month. And send a board chair no. Ochosa ne krata that epistle. 26 June. Oka say ono die yakofre sorabofo from heaven, Bakrana, she knows that they will declare the transaction clean. Now, she had received this report. Last week, press conference now, Kofi Bosumpem or Safuma for addressing, he was aware of this transaction advisor's report. And yet was saying, Bibia and Bibia ye kama, Bibia ye clean, and that they are going ahead. Look at this damning report. Very damning. Meanwhile, no, Usher SNIT for Ankasa Miwo advert on Monday 7 February 2022. Omo LST pre-qualification criteria. Omo Kase Obia Ubabe Bedeno. Make sure you have sources and proof of funding. And sana yebe consider will bid. Transaction advisor no Kase Rock City. You didn't have source of funding. You didn't have a bank guarantee. Into Rock City bid no should not even have qualified. In addition, no SNIT for pre-qualification criteria almost say valid SNIT and GRA clearance certificate. Bubekaya me intercepted documents from GRA. Me were copy waha. These filings at GRA reveal say at the time Rock City put in their bid, no, they couldn't have had a valid tax clearance certificate because bid no was happening in first quarter of 2022. Until you should bring your filings. Almost 2021, there were GRA documents. Okay. 2021, a year 2 years after, 9th March 2023, and now Omoko filing Omo taxes for 2021. Until when they were putting in the bid 2022, they couldn't have had a valid tax clearance certificate. Because
is that the reason why our respondent said we need
proof? Yes, that we need proof na me intercepted bibia na obeto obeche me trazako dying as if say me a homeless. I need his house, so that I can move from the streets. These are the documents. So me see my intercepted bibia. I have it. Tax clearance being and or the year bid, and that is a prerequisite. More and more can say pre-qualification criteria.
Because it's part of the requirements.
Pre-qualification criteria. Say, we need be a disqualify. Into deal with whichever aspect you look at it, any time. A bon kind. Whichever way you look at it. Whichever, and these are the issues. Internal organized labor will be anybody who has seen these documents. Say, what is going on here? Dear no, a work and pay. Yeah, chair hotel no. Yeah, chemudia monka say hotel no. Yeah, decided say. Yeah, they my your colleague in government. Yeah, the channel. Just say that now you're your tears here. Because that's what is happening.
That's our investment.
Yes, that's our investment.
Obia is it contributor, that's your money. It's your investment. So you should have interest.
Into when you look at the issues, they are very clear, sir. These are fundamental issues. There were constitutional violations. There were violations of your Income Tax Act. Violations of your procurement laws. And then if you look at even the valuation report, if you look at the transaction advisors report, it's all a disaster. It's a total mess. Into the whole arrangement, about the year work and pay arrangement. Sikana Labadi Beach Hotel for a one, and no na anka omode be over the 2-year period, now because me were Labadi Beach for profits, financial statements. Osha last year, and for the month ending 31st December 2023, Labadi Beach Hotel into some press conference now. Mr. Busimpi, yeah, hotels, they are just making losses. And no credit. Labadi Beach Hotel last year, gross profit 158.4 million. Profit after tax, operating profit, 58.2 million for 2023. The year before 2022, 55 million. According to Deloitte, Deloitte for NOMO auditing in Jamaica. Labadi Beach Hotel last year omutua dividend 25 million. The year before omutua dividend 10 million. Inti enye no krese hotels ni nyina a basket case. Enye no
10 million Ghana cedis.
10 million 2022 2023 omutua 25 million cedis. 25 million cedis. And the taxes omutua over the last 4 years 40.5 million. This is a cash cow. The whole thing was just going to be a work and pay arrangement. Labadi for Sikano and Rock City for a debate to your installment plan. Clearly, that's what was going to go on. And you see, Ushe Labadi for more history. That should have been the model, sir. La Palm, Royal Ridge, Elmina, as I say, no. They are not making profit. Labadi, about 15 years ago, they were also struggling.
Sure.
And the Ernest Thompson-led leadership, invite hotel management company be a friend Legacy from South Africa. And a Legacy for into a ton hotel na more just musani management contract say muna munim say na you manage hotels into move managing namun in the process no mu knowledge transfer munchre Ghana for no say na you manage after no na mo hand over into after 10 years omo transforming Labadi and omo de ma Ghana for have been in charge for about 7-8 years, and they are still making profit, even better profit than when the South Africans were.
Then we could have tapped into Labadi.
Exactly, into the Labadi model, no? Yeah. And you see, Ernest Thompson had an agreement with the Ernest Thompson-led management, had a similar agreement with La Palm. Abai we buy and no cancel that agreement. And more appointed political apparatchiks to manage these hotels without looking at competence, expertise in hotel management. Into the issue is about management. And you say, Yantong, so if look at these two hotels, Labadi, La Palm, same stretch, same road, beachfront. It's just a 2 minutes walk. Yembisa Yahose, Argentina Labadi for
they are doing well.
Decline profit, doing so well. And La Palm just next door, struggling. Meanwhile, La Palm, there were more rooms, there were bigger conferencing facilities. Into how come? It should tell you, say, it's a management issue. It's not about selling it. Into just appoint the right management, and the fortunes will be turned around. But if you have these political apparatchiks, one of them acted for 6 months, or say $18,000. I put out those memos. How can the place make profit? Don't sell it. It's just appoint the right people, change management. Adia yedi yesika esi over all these years. Ghana workers, and then you come to this conclusion, say, why? It simply doesn't make sense. Muamu Labadi story. Just adapt, replicate the Labadi story for La Palm, for Ridge Royal, for Elmina, for Buzia, for Trust Lodge, and we are home and dry. Look, whichever way you look at this, it's just the state capture. Hotels, we, as I said, the Ghanaian people don't deserve it. We must have it. That's what this is about. Because there can be no, idea a year profit. I don't think Omudi Labadi account. Because some more argument, they say, oh, yeah, ton hotels are a year losses. Yeah. That's your argument. Then why add Labadi? If you wanted us to believe in your principle, to see that you have credibility, say the more you know, Anka and say Labadi account. But they are moon separated. Now moon dealing with only those making losses. Now you who say, oh, okay. But it doesn't make sense. More time together with their boom, and then you are treating all of them the same way. And then no value for money. Say offer no crana way below my valuation. Transaction advisor, I advise him on May 24. Say idea we are very damning. And Dr. Sam Mensa, the transaction advisor. You have $491,000. And Munim say moi si muchimu po enye sana mukano dia mubeya na mubeya no adenti na mubetam yesika over 7 say mo kotia transaction advisor say ombetu mufo mi wa munim say dia mubeya na mubeya obi atumufo amuntie enti why waste our money? Why? Ghana anka a private company, will you do this? That is the question which was. Okay. Will you do that?
Conversation I feel crying days coming no you better so but way who hear me pa and then way by your count wasem your election year Yami Addo former President John Dramani Mahama be your president you still be in parliament or be part of the government. Yatiti forest the end and clear. Mo penso yakwatse bia abamu nipa bi to aban japade na Bawumia no carry.
Look, I can assure you, sir. And yes, sir, me kasakeke. Abanu me free mo. Me resigning. I won't be part of it. Say yeah, but abanu say in some way I hear condemn me. Yes, so yeah, but yeah the same thing. I won't be part of such a government. I won't be part of the government. I'll just sit in parliament. Sebi yeah, bet you as a member of parliament. I don't have to be a minister. And there are so many other things I can do. There are so many people who are not in government. You even look better than I do. Yeah. I will not be part of such a government. In general, I made the answer at former President Mahama in the press conference. Or clearly, or pledge before in Central Force. on my coin for any member of his government to buy a state asset. And all stay a cow, a assassin, bungalow, forest, you are not allowed. I was so happy when I heard that.
Okay.
So happy. On one case, I was promising.
All right.
And I am hoping, say, answer na yebeba abemokrano that law, no, the protection of public assets bill, no, yebe pass it.
Okay.
So that it will not even arise. But I can give you a full assurance.
Okay.
Say, I won't be part of such a cabal.
Okay.
Say, yes, we hear about yes, state capture. Because you just have to be playing all these videos. I'll be so embarrassed. Actually, I'll commit suicide. Yeah, because I can't stand it.
Okay.
I can't stand it.
Okay, me pacho near the betrato and say honorable plan Bennett that was state capturing ya ekosui and say banglos and the kekao. Me pacho then what is the strategy? What's the way forward?
Eddie Kaino, I am clear in my mind. Yeah, I'm clear in my mind, sir. Who engage in this state capture? That's a yechiwa. There has to be sanctions. SNIT board, no, they have to go home. That board must be dissolved because they are cost. Look at the transaction advisors report. You have this advice May 24th. Now weeks after, no, you are holding press conference, writing statements, saying say Bibia Kosu Kama. They all must go home. The Elizabeth Ohini led board and the Osafumafu management. No, look, public officials must suffer sanctions. Look, when you engage in conduct of this nature, there has to be consequences. And yes, Sana, Obia will feel encouraged.
Yeah.
State capture no bekosusa. So into meso may share forest or meso met to me at home. There will be no consequence. Yache me krana, I mean, no punishment. Meso if I'm in charge of bungalows, met to me at home. If I'm in charge of embassies, I can demolish and buy them. I mean, there ought to be sanctions. Internal mini you tag for. And all the labor unions are or more demand they say, as I say, you dissolve the board way. I agree with them. Okay. Look, the fact say all of this was going on. Up to now, I can't believe say Inti Mamba Bontia, board members even the union reps almost say na omunim say koso. Hey, Inti I don't know discussing what board ho. Then it means say board no they are not working. Yeah. Into clearly it's a burden. Let's relieve you of that burden. Into what they are monko juma. Into omon betu me aye juma no. Or betu me a supervise your assets am I. And the management so osafuma fumo. Omo ba hold the press conference at the end to me manage. Just a ton. Once you have done that no, it's clear say you don't have any ideas. Okay. Into Obian Kofi, they should be dismissed. All right. Outrightly. There has to be sanctions. And MPR for I've sent them an RTI request. Okay. Says I sent a minister Beka of Parliament last week. And Ukraine Emma green light to SNIT because you are the regulator. Is it true? Say you gave the green light to SNIT, as the Minister of Employment said. If it is true, on what grounds? Review no. We want all the documentation because with this transaction advisors report, now MPR for you have superior information than the transaction advisor, and I'm one SNIT for the green light to go ahead. Go and sell. Until you also have questions to answer. The MPR board must be dissolved because clearly we can't trust these people to manage pensions. We cannot. Unless the minister Beckham or parliament MPR for must green light.
Yo, Yamin Shas wash Jumedi no ebesisi semre on car hona on chair washi mu emfama on your kese na bibiara uye biano enye de NC wuye yada wase se Jumedi no yade abdru hana mpempensoni nyina ni de da yekoso ya ne pitri aha ene yade ensam dodo na no be de ebisi ede ama yestresa obejebre na de biano wetie eye Jumedi no ede my POG Media, we always serve you with the best of a news. Not ye kaimon so say a ye afi a ye abatuo no a ye abatua just say a win here pay into no ope a ye solid a ye update just a ubinya a ye ha and quoting our bed ubinya into Mr. Jabre, Neshe Jumedi no a former Akroma.